For more than 900 years, the Galactic Council ruled the stars. They decided who could travel. They decided who could trade. They decided who could live in peace. No species ever challenged them, until Earth. The council chamber floated in deep space, larger than most cities. Its curved metal walls glowed with cold blue light. Rows of alien leaders sat in perfect order, their shapes and colors different, but their power the same. They had gathered for one reason. Humanity had refused an order. At the center of the chamber stood a single human woman. She was small compared to the massive room. She wore a simple red uniform with no heavy armor, no visible weapons. Her hands rested calmly on a smooth white table. Her face showed no fear. Her name was Commander Elena Ward. She was Earth's voice. One of the council leaders leaned forward. His skin shimmered like polished stone. His voice echoed across the chamber. Earth has violated galactic law, he said. You were ordered to open your defense networks and submit to council control. The room filled with quiet approval. This was how it always went. A smaller world would argue. Then they would surrender. Elena did neither. She looked around the chamber slowly, meeting their eyes one by one. Her voice was calm when she spoke. Earth did not violate the law, she said. Earth refused it. A low murmur spread through the chamber. Another council member rose. Tall, sharp, angry. You are not in a position to refuse, it said. Your world is young. Your fleets are weak. You exist because we allow it. Elena did not raise her voice. You allowed us peace, she replied. We used it well. The council leader laughed. The sound was harsh and cruel. This meeting is over, it said. Earth will submit, or Earth will burn. For the first time, Elena moved. She reached forward and pressed her palm against the table. The surface lit up, forming a glowing hologram above it, but it did not show Earth. It showed space. A distant star system appeared, then another, then dozens more. Red symbols blinked across the image. Destroyed fleets, silent stations, lost patrols. The room fell quiet. These locations, Elena said, were your outer defense groups, long-range scouts, deep space watchers. The council stared. These units went dark 3 days ago, she continued. You assumed system failure. She looked up. They were not failures. One council member stood suddenly. Impossible, it said. No war was declared. Elena nodded once. Correct, she said. Earth did not declare war. The hologram shifted again. This time, it showed alien warships drifting in space. Powerless, disabled, intact. No explosions, Elena said. No civilian losses. No planetary damage. Her eyes hardened. Just silence. The chamber erupted in angry voices. Demands. Threats. Orders. Elena waited. When the noise finally faded, she spoke again. You have ruled through fear for centuries, she said. You call it peace. We call it control. The main council leader slammed a clawed hand onto the arm of his seat. You dare lecture us? He roared. You are one world. Elena leaned forward slightly. No, she said. We are one species. She straightened, and we learned fast. The hologram changed once more. It now showed human ships, sleek, dark, unfamiliar. They moved silently through space, appearing and disappearing like shadows. We studied your fleets, Elena said. Your formations, your commands, your mistakes. Her voice remained steady. You taught us how you fight. The council leader's tone shifted. No longer angry. Careful. What do you want? He asked. Elena removed her hand from the table. The hologram faded. She stood tall. This, she said, is Earth's final warning. The room froze. You forced this war, Elena continued. You pushed into our systems. You demanded control. You ignored our refusal. She took one step back. We will not rule you, she said. We do not want your worlds. We do not want your council. Her eyes locked onto the leader. But if you continue, we will end your ability to threaten anyone, forever. Silence filled the chamber. Finally, the leader spoke again, his voice low. You are bluffing. Elena turned and walked toward the exit. She stopped once without looking back. "No," she said. "This is mercy." The doors closed behind her. The council sat in stunned silence. Only then did a junior analyst speak, his voice shaking. "Council, long-range sensors are detecting movement. Human movement, another added, across multiple sectors." The leader clenched his hands. Earth had not come to beg. Earth had not come to threaten. Earth had come to warn them. And warnings, the Council suddenly realized, were only given once. The Galactic Council did not sleep that cycle. Across their vast territory, warning lights began to glow. Messages flooded command centers. Patrol fleets stopped responding. Long-range sensors showed strange gaps where ships should have been. Still, the Council told itself one thing. Humans were bluffing. They had to be. Earth was young. Its technology was copied, not original. Its fleets were small compared to the Council's endless armadas. So the Council did what it always did. They chose force. Within hours, orders were sent across the galaxy. Thousands of warships gathered at jump points near human space. Massive carriers, weapon platforms, and destroyers formed perfect attack lines. Alien commanders felt confident. This war would be quick. This war would be easy. The first fleet entered human territory at full strength. What they found was nothing. No defensive wall. No patrol ships. No radio signals. Human space was silent. Entire star systems lay open, their planets quiet and dark. Civilian traffic was gone. Mining stations were empty. Even satellites were missing. The alien fleet advanced carefully, weapons armed. "This is a trick," one commander said. "Humans are hiding." They moved deeper. Still nothing. Then, without warning, the first ship went dark. No explosion. No alarms. Just silence. Its lights faded. Its engine stopped. The vessel drifted slowly, powerless. Before the commander could react, another ship went silent. Then another. Panic spread. Raise shields. Return fire. Find the enemy. But there was nothing to shoot. Human ships did not appear on sensors. No energy spikes. No weapon signatures. Only silence. Within minutes, half the fleet was disabled. Then the humans appeared. Dark shapes slipped out of space itself. Close enough that escape was impossible. They fired once. Precise. Clean. No ships exploded. They simply stopped working. When the last human vessel vanished, the alien fleet was left drifting, helpless, and alive. The message was clear. Earth was not hunting. Earth was demonstrating. Reports rushed back to the Council. Commanders demanded reinforcements. Some asked to retreat. The Council refused. They sent more fleets. The second wave attacked from 3 directions at once. Different tactics. Heavier weapons. The result was worse. Human forces anticipated every move. Jump points collapsed at the perfect moment. Supply ships vanished before they could unload. Command vessels lost control systems within seconds. Alien crews never saw their enemy. They only felt the war ending around them. Captured alien officers were taken aboard human ships. They expected cruelty. Instead, they found order, medical care, clear instructions, calm voices. One alien captain asked a human officer a simple question. "Why are you not destroying us?" The human answered without emotion, "Because you are not the problem." Across the galaxy, smaller worlds watched in fear. They had lived under the Council's rule for generations. They knew its power. They had seen rebellions crushed without mercy. But this was different. Earth was winning, and Earth was not killing. Some worlds shut down their sensors, hoping to stay unnoticed. Others sent secret messages to Earth. They asked one question: "What do you want?" Earth's reply was always the same: "Stay out of this." Back at the Council chamber, the leaders argued. "This is impossible," one shouted. "They are controlling the battlefield." Another said, "They planned this." A third whispered. The main Council leader sat in silence. He replayed Elena Ward's words again and again. "This is your final warning." The Council ordered a full assault. Every remaining fleet, every weapon, everything, the largest force the galaxy had ever seen, moved toward Earth. And then Earth vanished. Human systems went dark. Communications ended. Navigation data failed. The Armada entered blind. What followed was chaos. Human strikes came from behind, from below, from places that should not exist. Entire fleets lost coordination in seconds. Friendly fire destroyed more ships than human weapons did. Some alien commanders tried to surrender. They were ignored, not because Earth did not care, but because Earth was busy ending the war before it could spread further. By the time the Armada realized the truth, it was too late. They had walked into a battlefield designed years in advance. The Council finally understood. This war was never about ships or numbers. It was about preparation. Earth had not reacted to the Council. Earth had expected them. As the last reports came in, a Council analyst spoke with a trembling voice. Council, human forces are withdrawing. The leader looked up sharply. Withdrawing, he asked. Yes, the analyst replied. They are pulling back from all fronts. Relief washed over some faces, but the leader felt something else. Fear, because humans did not retreat without reason. And somewhere in the darkness of space, Earth was preparing the next step. The warning had been ignored. Now came the lesson. The galaxy began to whisper. At first, the story sounded impossible. Human ships that could not be tracked. Weapons that did not destroy, only silence. Fleets defeated without a single planet touched. For centuries, the Galactic Council had controlled information. But now, fear moved faster than orders. Independent traders spoke of human patrols that let them pass without inspection. Refugees told stories of alien fleets drifting powerless, their crews alive and unharmed. The question spread across 1,000 worlds. Who are the humans really? Inside a secure human command station far from Earth, Commander Elena Ward stood before a wide star map. The war was unfolding exactly as predicted. Every enemy move followed the same patterns humans had studied for generations. An officer beside her spoke quietly. The Council is confused, he said. They don't understand how we're always ahead. Elena nodded. They never tried to understand us, she replied. Humanity had entered the galaxy as observers. They watched, they listened, they remembered. While other species raced for power, humans collected data. They learned alien languages. They studied psychology, command habits, and fear responses. They mapped trade routes and military supply chains. Humans asked one question again and again. What happens when the Council feels threatened? The answer was always the same. They overreacted. Now, the Council was doing exactly what humanity expected. Deep inside the Council's territory, a captured alien admiral sat in a human briefing room. He was old, his once proud posture broken by exhaustion. A human intelligence officer sat across from him. Why? The admiral asked. Why go this far? The officer did not hesitate. Because you never stop, he said. You only push. The admiral shook his head slowly. We brought order, he whispered. We kept peace. The human leaned forward. You kept silence, he replied. There's a difference. Across the galaxy, Council world began to panic. Supply lines failed. Communications broke down. Defense grids shut off without warning. No explosions. No invasion forces. Just quiet failure. Smaller species noticed something strange. Human attacks never targeted civilian centers. They never struck hospitals or cities. Even when they could have destroyed entire worlds, they didn't. Instead, they removed control. One planetary governor, long under Council rule, received a human transmission. It contained only one sentence. You are free to choose. No demands followed. No threats. That terrified him more than any weapon. Within days, several Council-line worlds stopped providing resources. Others refused to send troops. Some openly declared neutrality. The Council called them traitors. But the words felt weak now. Back on Earth, civilians went about their lives calmly. There were no mass shelters. No panic broadcasts. Schools remained open. Cities glowed peacefully under artificial skies. Humanity trusted its leaders. Because this war had been planned long before the first shot, human commanders did not celebrate victories. They reviewed mistakes. They adjusted timelines. They spoke of the war as something unpleasant, but necessary. To them, it was not revenge. It was correction. In the council chamber, fear finally replaced arrogance. The main council leader stared at reports scrolling endlessly across his display. Lost influence, broken alliances, disappearing fleets. They are dismantling us, he muttered. A younger council member spoke hesitantly. They are not attacking worlds, he said. They are removing our ability to control them. The leader turned sharply. That is worse, he growled. For the first time in centuries, the council felt powerless. They attempted negotiations. Messages were sent to Earth. Demands softened into requests. Threats turned into warnings. Warnings turned into silence. Earth did not respond. Human ships withdrew further into the shadows. The war slowed, but did not stop. This unsettled the galaxy even more, because humans were not rushing. They were waiting. In a remote system, a human fleet commander watched an alien convoy pass through unharmed. His second-in-command frowned. "We could end them," she said. The commander shook his head. "Not yet," he replied. "They haven't chosen." The second officer looked confused. "Chosen what?" "Who they want to be," the commander answered. The truth was becoming clear. Humanity was not trying to replace the council. They were forcing the galaxy to decide if the council was still needed at all. One by one, worlds began to disconnect from council authority. Some quietly, others openly. The council's power base collapsed without a final battle. And still, Earth said nothing. Finally, deep within the council chamber, the leader whispered the words he had avoided since Elena Ward's visit. She warned us. No one answered, because everyone knew what came next. The warning phase was ending, and when humans stopped warning, they acted. The first world to break away did it quietly. No announcement, no rebellion, just silence. A small trade planet at the edge of council space stopped sending reports. Its defense grid shut down. Its council symbols were removed from public channels. At first, the Galactic Council ignored it. Then a second world followed. Then a third. Within weeks, dozens of systems stopped obeying council commands. Trade slowed. Military supplies vanished. Entire fleets found themselves without fuel or repairs. The council reacted with anger. They sent threats. They issued punishments. They ordered arrests. Nothing worked. The galaxy was changing. On many worlds, citizens gathered in public spaces, watching stolen recordings of human battles. They saw fleets defeated without mass death. They saw commanders captured, not executed. For the first time, the council did not look powerful. It looked afraid. On one desert world, a planetary governor met with human envoys in secret. The humans did not wear armor. They carried no weapons. They spoke plainly. "We are not here to rule you," the human envoy said. "We never were." The governor narrowed his eyes. "Then why fight the council?" he asked. The envoy answered simply, "Because someone had to say no." Across the galaxy, the same conversations happened again and again. Humans offered no promises of protection, no grand alliance, no demands. Only one message: choose freely. Many worlds did. Some declared full independence. Others refused to support the council any longer. Even long-loyal species began to question centuries of forced peace. The council tried to respond with force, but their fleets were broken. And worse, many of their commanders no longer obeyed. Several admirals defected. Some surrendered to Earth. Others simply disappeared, taking their ships with them. The council's power was bleeding away. Inside the council chamber, panic replaced order. Meetings turned into shouting matches. Accusations flew. Old rivals blamed each other for weakness. The main council leader slammed his fist onto the table. "This is Earth's doing," he shouted. "They are poising the galaxy against us." A quieter voice answered. "No," said a senior counselor. "They are letting the galaxy see us clearly." Silence followed. The council leader realized the truth. Earth had not destroyed the council's image. The council had done that itself. Humanity had only removed the mask. As unrest spread, the council issued a final command. All remaining fleets were ordered to regroup near the core worlds. Only half responded. And when they arrived, many ships were empty. Their crews had left, back in human space. Commander Elena Ward received reports of the growing collapse. She listened without expression. They are falling apart faster than expected, an officer said. Elena nodded slowly. Control breaks when fear stops working, she replied. A junior officer asked the question many were thinking. What happens if the council surrenders? Elena paused. Then the war ends, she said. But the lesson remains. Elsewhere, a former council control world held its first free broadcast. Citizens watched as their leader spoke openly without approval. No punishment followed. No fleets arrived. The sky remained calm. Hope spread faster than fear ever had. The council tried one last tactic. They sent a public message to the galaxy, blaming Earth for chaos, claiming humanity sought domination. The response was immediate. Dozens of worlds broadcast back. We were never free before Earth spoke. The message shattered the council's authority. In private, the council leader stared at a dark screen, replaying Elena Ward's final words. This is mercy. He finally understood what she meant. Mercy was not kindness. Mercy was restraint. And restraint was ending. A long-range alert sounded across the chamber. A fleet was approaching. Not human, independent. Worlds once ruled by the council had united on their own. Their ships formed a loose defensive ring, not to attack Earth, but to block the council's escape. The council was trapped by its former subjects. For the first time in 900 years, the council asked for negotiations. A message was sent to Earth. This time, Earth replied. The reply was short. The warning period has ended. The council leader felt his strength drain away. He knew what came next. Earth was no longer speaking to the council. Earth was speaking to the galaxy. And the galaxy had chosen. As human fleets moved openly for the first time, worlds watched in silence. No fear, no cheers, only understanding. The age of forced peace was over, and the council knew its end was near. The message from Earth reached the Galactic Council without delay. The warning period has ended. No threats followed, no demands, just those 5 words. They were enough. Inside the council chamber, the leader sat frozen. The room felt smaller than ever. The glowing walls no longer inspired power. They felt like a cage. The main council leader broke the silence. Prepare all remaining defenses, he said, his voice low and strained. Earth must not reach the core worlds. An aide hesitated. Leader, our defenses are already failing. Control node are offline. Command relays are not responding. The leader closed his eyes. Earth had not attacked the core worlds yet. That was the most frightening part. Across the galaxy, human fleets moved openly for the first time. No stealth, no hiding. They advanced in calm, organized formations. They did not rush. They did not threaten. They simply arrived. On worlds still loyal to the council, panic spread. Citizens demanded answers their leaders could not give. Soldiers questioned orders. Some units refused to fight at all. On neutral worlds, people watched in silence as human ships passed overhead and did nothing. Earth was not conquering. Earth was arriving. Commander Elena Ward stood aboard a human flagship, watching the council's core system grow larger on the main screen. Stars bent around massive defense platforms, once thought unbreakable. An officer beside her spoke softly. All fleets are in position, he said. We can begin at your command. Elena did not answer right away. Open a channel, she said at last. The council chamber flickered into view. The leaders appeared tired, smaller, older. Elena's image formed before them. You ignored our warning, she said calmly. You chose to test us. The council leader leaned forward. You have won, he said. What more do you want? Elena's expression did not change. We want the same thing we wanted before, she replied. An end to force rule. The leader's voice cracked. The council is the galaxy's foundation, he said. Without us, there will be chaos. Elena shook her head slowly. There is already chaos, she said. You just controlled it. She raised her hand. Behind her, the screen split into dozens of views. Council control centers went dark one by one. Defense platforms powered down. Communication, arrays, shut off across the core worlds. No explosions, no fire, just loss of control. We are not destroying your worlds, Elena said. We are removing your ability to command them. The council leader stood suddenly. You cannot do this, he shouted. We are order. Elena's voice remained steady. No, she said. You are fear. With that, the channel closed. Human fleets moved. Specialized teams disabled the last council command hubs within hours. The council's military structure collapsed completely. Remaining fleets powered down, their crews unwilling or unable to fight. Across the galaxy, the news spread fast. The Galactic Council no longer existed. On dozens of worlds, celebrations broke out. On others, people simply stood outside and looked at the sky, unsure what freedom felt like. Earth did not announce victory. Earth did not claim leadership. Instead, human ships withdrew from many systems, leaving behind restored networks and open communication channels. On one former council world, a local leader sent a message to Earth. Who rules us now? Earth replied, You do. Back aboard the flagship, a junior officer asked Elena the question many feared. What if someone else rises like the council did? Elena looked out at the stars. Then they'll remember this, she said. In the ruins of the council chamber, the former leader sat alone. No guards, no throne, no power. He stared at the empty seats around him. They didn't destroy us, he whispered. A human envoy stood nearby. No, the envoy said. You destroyed yourselves. The leader looked up slowly. Was there ever another choice, he asked. The envoy answered honestly. Yes, you just never took it. Days passed, then weeks. The galaxy began to stabilize, not under one rule, but many. Worlds formed new alliances. Trade resumed freely. Conflict still happened, but they were no longer enforced from above. Earth watched quietly. Human fleets returned home. Commander Elena Ward stood once more on Earth, looking up at a peaceful sky. The war was over, but the memory would remain. Humanity had shown the galaxy something important, not their strength, but their restraint, because Earth could have burned the stars, and chose not to. The war ended without a final battle. That surprised the galaxy more than anything else. There were no burning worlds, no broken moons, no victory speeches, just silence. Human fleets withdrew from former council space slowly and openly. They did not hide. They did not rush. Each departure felt deliberate, as if Earth wanted the galaxy to understand one last message. This was not conquest. On many worlds, people stood beneath their skies and watched human ships leave. Some felt relief. Others felt uncertainty. Freedom was new, and new things were always frightening. For centuries, the Council had decided everything. Now, choices belonged to the worlds themselves. Some failed at first. Old rivalries returned. Border disputes flared. Trade arguments grew heated. But something had changed. There was no higher power to call for punishment. World had to talk. And slowly they learned how. On Earth, life returned to normal so smoothly that outsiders found it strange. Cities remained bright. Children went to school. Ships traveled peacefully between stars. Human news broadcasts spoke of the war rarely. When they did, they spoke quietly without pride. It was over. Commander Elena Ward declined all public honors. She returned to a simple role within Earth's diplomatic service. When asked why she did not celebrate, she gave the same answer every time. We didn't win, she said. We stopped something. Far across the galaxy, the former council leader stood before a group of independent world representatives. He was no longer powerful. He was not even feared. He was simply an old being with a long memory. The humans changed everything, one delegate said. Do you think they will rule us someday? The former leader shook his head slowly. No, he said. That is why they are dangerous. The delegate frowned. Dangerous? They do not need control, the old leader replied. And they do not fear chaos. He looked down. They trust choice. That truth spread. New alliances formed, not based on fear, but on agreement. Some worlds chose to stand together. Others chose isolation. Earth respected both. Human diplomats spoke only when invited. Human fleets only appeared when requested. The galaxy slowly understood the rule Earth lived by. Power is loud. Control is violent. Confidence is quiet. Years passed. The story of the war became legend. On distant worlds, parents told their children about the time the council fell. Not to human weapons, but to human refusal. They said no, the stories went. And they meant it. In one quiet system, a human exploration ship encountered a young alien species just reaching the stars. They were nervous, curious, afraid. The aliens asked the human captain the same question every new species eventually asked. Are you here to rule us? The captain smiled gently. No, she said. We're here to listen. The aliens did not understand at first, but they would. Back on Earth, Elena Ward stood at a memorial overlooking the ocean. There were no statues of enemies, no trophies of war, only names, human names, and alien ones too, because Earth remembered everyone. An officer joined her. The galaxy is stable, he said. For now. Elena nodded. That's all it ever is, she replied. He hesitated. If the council had listened, would this have ended differently? Elena looked at the horizon. Yes, she said, it would have ended sooner. She turned away. Humanity had learned something important long ago. Peace forced by fear always breaks. Peace chosen freely takes time, but lasts. That was the lesson Earth had taught the galaxy. Not through fire, not through domination, but through restraint. Far beyond known space, sensors recorded something new. Movement, unknown signals, a new presence awakening. Earth noticed. Earth did not panic. They prepared quietly. Because humans knew something the galaxy now understood too. Humans do not seek war. But when war is forced upon them, they do not forget. They do not rush. They do not rage. They warn. Once. And if that warning is ignored, they end it forever.